Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Krono here, and welcome back to the channel. So apparently, we've got some spicy NGS news. Good friend of the channel, Kero, has uploaded a video talking about NGS getting a budget increase, and I'm being asked what my thoughts are on this. I have no idea because I haven't looked at it yet. So let's find out what's going on.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the future of NGS because
Also, Kara, don't blow me up. I am abusing you for content right now. I promise. The check's in the mail. Just check your PayPal. It's on the way.
future is looking very bright since Sega just released their annual report and they pretty much laid out the roadmap for the next 3 years regarding of how much money they're going to be investing into NGS as well as other things. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the
chat. First off, if you're not subbed to Kero and you're watching any of my content, I don't know what the you're doing with your life. That's crazy. I'm literally our biggest creator. Maybe not our longest going creator. I'm pretty sure that's still me, but our biggest creator in the category easily. Also, spiffy haircut.
The channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to go over is you can find this PDF in the description below. It's literally the first link in case you want to read it yourself. Keep in mind it's 82 pages. Jesus. It is literally the Sega Sammy Holdings Integrated Report 2024, which pretty much sums up the past 3 years of all their financial reports and all of their stuff and what they're planning to do for the next 3 years.
People read now, they don't.
Sega does things is they do things in chunks of 3 years. So in this gigantic PDF, we're going to find out what Sega is planning to do in 2025, 26, and 27. Now, as you can see here under the table of contents, there's a whole bunch of different messages, a message from the CEO, strengths of the Sammy Group, our value creation process, IP portfolio and growth, blah, blah, blah. But the main thing that we're going to be focusing on today's video is going to be the growth strategy and mainly about the message from the CFO as well as the medium-term plan, which is the next 3 years. All right, so we're just going to jump straight to page 28. So over here is the message from the CFO. For those who don't know what that stands for, it is Chief Financial Officer, basically the person in charge of all the money. And as we all know, video games need money in order to function, in order to operate, in order to get new content and stuff. Everything costs money. So
it's not just they need money, they need to make money. So they need money allocated to increase the amount of money they bring in.
This is very, very important to look at. Now, they say a lot of stuff over here. You can read it for yourself if you want. We're just going to be focusing over here on the pretty graphs because I know you guys like to see pretty graphs.
Of course.
So, the TLDR
Give me the numbers.
Is we can see this red line over here.
Infinite money glitch, exactly.
The resort business has been an absolute failure for them because, well, COVID and all of those issues. So you can see from 2018, 2019, all
shade and shambles, no EOS announcement.
They were losing money in the resort business. So they decided to cut their losses and said, screw the resort business, we're done with this. So in March of 2024, Sega decided to cut out the resort business because, well, they've been losing.
All right, listen, I'm gonna make a little bit of a pause here. Chat, I want you to realize Pachinko machines business. Look at the percentage. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of RNG and Pachinko machines. You really can't get mad at people about saying they want to implement Pachinko machine like things when the percentage is that fucking high, dude. It's insane. Look at, from a business perspective, you should want everything to be like this, unfortunately. Now, granted, it could be this. But my man, come on.
Money since 2018, so it's about
time I'm just saying
losses. So what are they going to be investing that extra money that they were losing in
the resort business got fucked?
Well, they're going to be doubling down on the entertainment content business, on the Pachinko machines, and later in the article you're going to see that they're going to invest into gaming business. It's going to be the yellow line for those who don't want to read. So as we can see, the reason why Sega is investing so much into the Pachinko business is because, well, it's making them a lot of money. As you
A lot is an understatement. That's 81% up. Are you fucking kidding me? That's insane. Nothing is close to that, dude. Nothing is close to that.
You can see in 2022 they made 14% profit, 2023 they made 37%, and then at 2024 it shot up to 81.6. So there's a very good reason why Sega's like, yeah, we love Pachinko for life. It's because that's where the money is being made. Now, as for the entertainment content business, it has slowly been on the rise. As you can see here, from 2019, it was only 5%, and then 2020, it went up to 8%, and then 14%, 18%.
Entertainment's still profitable, though. It's the second most profitable.
In 2024, it did crash down to 10%. And what Sega's planning to do in order to remedy this problem is simply give them more funds so that, well, they can do bigger and greater things in order to bring back the big fat profits. So what does this mean for us, the average consumer? And more importantly, what does this have to
What is going on with this video?
Yes. Well, the great thing is NGS is getting a whopping 30 billion yen investment. However, do keep in mind that this 30 billion yen is going to be allocated over 3 years. Now, for those who don't know how much 30 billion yen is, because I didn't know myself, it's almost 200 million US dollars.
That's wild.
200 million versus 3 billion, it doesn't sound as impressive, but that's still a significant amount of money, and that's actually an increase, a significant increase in the budget for Krono.
Can we take a moment to realize legacy IP / super game, extraordinary game.
So Kimura, who is of course the lead director of NGS, is getting a large sum of money in order to hire new people, get more collaborations in order to make the game better. They're just getting a lot more capital so that they have a lot more breathing room in order to work their magic, which is really, really nice to see, which is why I'm very excited to see what they're going to cook up in 2025, 26, and 27. Now, I do think that it is going to take a little bit of time before we, the end consumer, actually see any huge changes, simply because,
sure.
development process, they need to hire people, they need to work on systems and whatever. It does take
I'd say about
time.
a year or two before we see anything.
We do have a huge increase in the budget in NGS. I don't think we're going to be able to see any big massive changes until probably the 4th anniversary. So we're about to hit the 3.5-year anniversary in December. So I'm thinking the 4th year anniversary in mid of 2025, or even the end of 2025, is when we'll actually see NGS go into full swing and take advantage of all of this liquid. However, I am overall very, very happy to see that they've increased the budget for NGS and they're investing a lot more money into NGS. However, compared to the other titles, this is very, very little. They're only giving 30 billion to NGS. However, they're putting like over 90 billion to make new IPs. So we're going to actually scroll down over here and we can see right here, upside potential, including super game. For those who are confused on what the heck a super game is, it's literally Sega's buzzword of a live service game. All right. So for those who are wondering, Carol, how did you know it was 30 billion into NGS alone? Well, because Sega only has one super game right now, and that is NGS. There is no other live service game that Sega makes other than PSO2 New Genesis.
Yeah, isn't Crazy Taxi going to be live service? But they're saying live service current, not live service that's coming up, though. But he is right, though. There isn't anything else that's live service from Sega. If that's their buzzwords they use for it, I mean, I'm more inclined to believe that is actually they are talking about NGS for a few reasons in that situation. Let me go back real quick. Just because it's legacy IP / super game. Legacy IP / super game. Technically, you could be talking about NGS in either one of these situations. It could be the legacy IP or it could be the super game. And Crazy Taxi could be in either one of these. Now, granted, it could be the entire budget to one of those games, or it could be the budget split between both of them. The super game is an upcoming project. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's split. I think it makes more sense for the project to be split. The thing is that while I do think they would put more money into Crazy Taxi, I don't think Sega would actually just put all of their eggs into the one basket that is Crazy Taxi at being a live service. I don't think so in the slightest. So I think this is like it's split between both of them, because is there any other like live action game? There's not, right? There's nothing else. Like we know Crazy Taxi is supposed to be live action, quote unquote, but legacy IP, Phantasy Star is a legacy IP. Hatsune Miku, is that live service? I don't think it's live service. I don't think that game counts as a live service. Project Sekai, let's see, hang on. So they specifically name Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage further upside legacy IPs, right? Upside potential, including Super Game. So upside potential, including the Super Game. As a further upside, we announced a project to breathe new life into legacy IPs still loved by fans December 2023. While paying respects to the players' foundational experience, we're developing products diligently to create new captivating experiences that combine the essential DNA of the original IPs with innovative game mechanisms. Further, we'll be strategically promoting acquisition of major rights leading to Japanese IPs, JIPs, particularly animation, which has been increasing its presence globally in recent years, and accelerated transmedia development on a global level, thereby enhancing the value of the IPs, increasing earnings. As for Super Game, we're developing it based on market conditions, our own strengths, and portfolio perspectives as a challenge to build long-term growth pillar for Sega in the future. Now I'm leaning more towards Super Game being something that's releasing, not something that's out. Specifically because in this report, they say, as for Super Game, we are developing it based on the current market conditions. However, they note Crazy Taxi and then also note further upside legacy IPs. And Phantasy Star is a legacy IP. And there's no reason for them to post both. There's no reason to post legacy IP / Super Game. They would just post Super Game if that was the case here. So I don't think this is all going to one thing. I don't think it's all going to PSO2, but I don't think it's all going to one thing.
Game is, it's literally Sega's buzzword of a live service game. All right. So for those,
which would make sense if that's the buzzword of a live service game. It's just Crazy Taxi. It's Crazy Taxi is what they're talking about there. Crazy Taxi plus other stuff, basically.
Those who are wondering, Kero, how did you know it was 30 billion into NGS alone? Well, because Sega only has one super game right now, and that is NGS. There is no other live service game that Sega
I don't think they count
makes
gachas as super games.
PSO2 New Genesis.
I think gachas are their own thing.
However, they are investing a large sum of money in order to make new games that are live service. So the main one that they did talk about a little bit was going to be Crazy Taxi. They're trying to bring back Crazy Taxi as a live service game in order for a lot of fans to enjoy. Now,
I'll be real, chat. I would have preferred Jet Set Radio. I would have preferred Jet Set Radio.
There are other games that they're also considering. As you can see, there's Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Golden Axe, as well as Streets of Rage. So if you're as old as me, well, you guys know that a lot of these games are pretty much my childhood when I went to the arcades back in the 90s-ish. It's a lot of really fun arcadey games. And they're planning to bring it as a live service game, or that's the plan. And they're investing.
That's true. They could be saying 30 million for all of these specific IPs that are coming.
So
and
that's
nothing
a lot
else.
of money into development, and hopefully, one of these titles.
We'll see what the acquisition is.
Good, or that they polish up something and it'll be a great success, so that Sega has a little bit more faith in super games. But nevertheless, as an NGS enjoyer, there is some good news over here, and that is, of course, the collaborations. So as you can see here, further, we will also be strategically promoting acquisition of major rights of leading Japanese IPs or JIPs, particularly animation, which has been increasing its presence globally in the recent years, and accelerate transmedia development on a global level, hereby enhancing the value of IPs and increase earnings. As for Super Game, we are developing it based on market conditions, our own strength and portfolio perspective, as a challenge to build a long-term growth pillar for Sega in the future. So live service games is something that they do want to make into a long-term pillar, as like, hey, this is going to be a cash cow, this is going to be one of our stable incomes, because, well, NGS is a very stable title. They're making money on NGS, regardless of the player base, regardless of how people are saying it's a dead game. The money is
It's not on
there,
JP.
they're making money, and Sega's very happy with that, and they want to cater to this market by simply, you know, getting more collaborations, investing into more of the acquisition major rights for a lot of animations. So mainly, you know, anime, Demon Slayer, hello, Bleach, hello, Overlord, you know, there's a lot of different animations, there's a lot of different games that they can collab with, but the TLDR is collaborations work. And so they're going to continue to do
They
that.
do.
So in
The reality is
they
they do.
continue to expect a bunch more of anime collaborations as well as game collaborations.
Anime and game
It is
collaborations are
making
actually like really
money.
good.
So in conclusion, what's the TLDR? NGS is going to be fine in the next 3 years. At the very least, the next 3 years, NGS is going to be
I mean, I could have
fine
told you that.
because they have the money already, and Sega is investing more money into NGS. So
I don't know about
they
that.
do see the potential in this game. And so if you were worried about this game dying or ending service or whatever, it's not happening anytime soon because Sega literally just put in 200 million US dollars into this game. So, yeah, it's not closing anytime soon, guys. The game's only going to get better over time. Now, of course, there's always going to be some sort of growing pains, as well as maybe the direction might go a bit wonky. However, in the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, the game is going to be fine. It is going to get better. And, you know, if you enjoy the game, continue playing it. If you're not enjoying the game, take a break and come back a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, and it'll be a totally different game. And the best part
Come back
about
6 months
NGS
later, it'll be a
is
totally different
there is
game.
practically no FOMO because, you know, you're under geared, you log back in. Oh, look, there's a huge campaign that just gives you free gear. Like what I
mean, that's
discovered
not completely
yesterday.
true, but
Anyone who's returning to the game, you don't need a gear up. You literally log in, you get to level 65, you get all of your free gear, you pop that on, you're good enough. You can do endgame already. So there's like absolutely no FOMO in this game, except for collaboration scratches. That is pretty much the only piece of FOMO. However, it's fashion, you know, but then again, fashion is the end game. So you guys have to decide for yourself, you know, if we get a collaboration with HoloLive again or something, and then, you know, maybe there's a character that you really like, or maybe we get the Overlord collaboration or a Monster Hunter Wild collaboration, you might want to log in and just scratch a few times, or just log in to buy whatever items that you want from the player market, because when those collaborations go away, it takes a very, very long time before they come back again. So that's the only part where there is a little bit of FOMO. However, if you're just talking about gear itself and content, you don't lose. You can literally,
I mean, there's
take a
content
1 year
FOMO
break,
because,
come back,
you know,
you're
when
like, oh,
the
wow,
content's
you
not
know,
being
there's
run
like
anymore, you missed
5
out.
new tiers of armors now, 5 new tiers of weapons or whatever, and you can enjoy yourself for a week or two, farm up everything, and then you know, if you're continuing having fun, keep playing. If you're not having fun, go off and take a break, because again, NGS is not going anywhere. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't think, I think this is a lot of jumping to conclusions. It is on the positive side. I'll give you that. Like it's definitely looking at it from a positive perspective, but I don't think that that money allocation is all going to NGS. I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that this is for NGS. I think what this money is actually for is literally to develop live service of these titles, realistically speaking. However, what it is going to do, it's going to put money into the live service department for Sega and help them realize how important that actually is, and developing or adding extra money into that, making those games very good, is what's going to allow them to want to invest in them even more. Do I think PSO2 is going to get any of that money whatsoever? I think it's going to get a chunk, yeah, for sure. However, I think it's going to be split amongst these titles overall. Like Crazy Taxi is what's being developed right now. I think they want to bring back all these titles back for, like, you know, live service stuff. I think it's going to put more of a presence in live service for Sega overall. And that's kind of what you're looking at here. As far as like FOMO goes, I mean, my TLDR on FOMO is people always freak out when it comes to FOMO and so on and so forth. I mean, we have IRL FOMO. They call them sales at stores. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, play the game when you want to play the game. Don't play the game because you feel like you're missing out on something. Play when you want to play it. And when you don't want to play it, don't play it. And if the only reason you wanted to play it was because you saw a thing that's there and it's going to go away, and if you don't get it, you don't want to play, then you didn't want to play the game. You just wanted the thing. Do yourself a favor. That's just all that is. If the game is what you want, like it will be there when you're ready to play it. That's all there is to it. But yeah, it's a bit hopeful to say that NGS is getting 30 mil and the NGS is getting 30 bill. I don't think that's the case. I think it's going into that department of super games, and I think that's a good thing overall. Like overall, it's going to be a good thing for NGS. I think NGS is going to be on the upside of things for the most part, but I don't think we're getting a massive budget increase at all, actually. So actually pretty excited for things like Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, and I mean, it's just funny. I'm excited for everything but Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi is the one I'm like, that's weird. Like, why did they do that first? Why didn't you develop Jet Set Radio first, dude? Should have developed Jet Set Radio first. In my opinion, it should have been Jet Set Radio first. Either Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, or Streets of Rage. That should have been one of the first ones. But I think that's what that is. So yeah, likely this 30 bill is going into just the department that develops these games in general. And even if, let's say for example, there was a situation where we are getting that 30 billion yen, it depends on how that money is spent. Like, it truly depends on how they spend that money. If they're spending it primarily on getting access to more collaborations, while that'll pull people into the game, it doesn't necessarily make the game better. Like, it's good. It's definitely a positive thing. And for people who are like, oh, well, you know, collabs don't just get people to play the games. Yes, it does. I promise you, collaborations are why some people started playing NGS. Certain collabs will pull people in. People have fandoms behind certain games where they'll just go play a game because of collaborations. However, there needs to be more. There's still other things that NGS is going to need. And while I'm really excited to see that department specifically getting more money, basically just straight up because of the games department in general getting more money, specifically super games, I feel like it's going to put more of a perspective in Sega's eyes that, hey, this can make us even more money. We should allocate more funds overall to these sort of games. And that will affect NGS. And I think that's going to be a good thing. It's also really funny to see things, well-known IPs such as Detective Conan. Y'all yell at me for One Piece being too damn long. Detective Conan is still a thing, all right? That's my take on it. I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's good, but I think it also is a little bit hopeful. We will likely see some of that money, but we will likely not see all of it. But hey, saying we get all of it is definitely better for YouTube, so I'm with it, dude. Clickbait title on Krono's end? Farming dislike button? Stick around, you'll find out. Anyway, like if you enjoyed the video, so if you want to keep up with more, as always, thanks to channel members. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you all next time, my friends. Take care. Peace out.